Welcome to our video on the 5 signs of the shadow that Carl Jung warned us about. If you've ever felt a sense of confusion or unease in your life, you might be experiencing a spiritual crisis. But don't worry, you're not alone, and understanding this shadow aspect of yourself can be the key to saving your inner peace. In this video, we'll explore what the shadow is and why recognizing these signs is crucial for your personal growth. You'll learn how to identify these warning signs and gain powerful insights that can help you navigate through challenging times. By the end, you'll have practical tools to confront your shadow, leading to a more fulfilled and authentic life. So, if you've ever wondered, what is my shadow and how does it affect me? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into this fascinating topic. Subscribe to the channel now and uncover the mysteries of spirituality with Carl Jung. The concept of the shadow, as defined by Carl Jung, represents the unconscious part of our personality that harbors repressed weaknesses, desires, and instincts. It's like a hidden room within our minds, filled with aspects we may not be proud of. Yet these elements significantly shape our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Understanding this shadow is crucial because it reveals the parts of ourselves that we often ignore, pushing us toward personal growth. Imagine a character named Sarah. She's a dedicated employee and a caring friend. But sometimes she feels sudden bursts of anger that surprise her. One day, during a team meeting, she finds herself inexplicably irritated by a colleague's suggestion. What Sarah doesn't realize is that her irritation stems from insecurities she hasn't confronted. This emotional reaction is an indicator that her shadow is influencing her behavior. The emotions we experience, especially the unexplained ones, serve as clues, encouraging us to look deeper into our psyche. Understanding that these feelings are not just random occurrences, but reflections of our hidden selves, can be life-changing. As we delve deeper into this idea, it's essential to recognize that unexplained emotions often arise during moments when we least expect them. For instance, think about a time when you felt a wave of sadness while watching a movie or hearing a song. These feelings might not be about the movie or the song at all. They could be a manifestation of unresolved issues stored away in your shadow. The more we learn to identify these emotions, the closer we get to understanding our true selves. Now, let's consider the journey of facing these emotions. It may feel daunting, much like standing at the edge of a deep, dark cave, unsure of what lies within. But remember, every hero's journey begins with a single step into the unknown. Just as Sarah had to confront her feelings, we too can embark on this journey. Journaling becomes an invaluable tool in this process. By writing down our emotions, we illuminate the hidden corners of our minds, allowing us to confront what we've repressed. This practice can lead to profound insights, transforming our relationship with our feelings. Sarah, after recognizing her unexplained anger, starts journaling. She begins to connect her feelings to past experiences, realizing that her irritation with her colleague mirrors her childhood experiences of feeling overshadowed by more outspoken family members. This revelation doesn't just help Sarah understand her anger, it empowers her to address her insecurities head-on. Now, instead of projecting her unresolved feelings onto her colleagues, she can engage with them more authentically. By understanding our unexplained emotions, we not only confront our shadows, but also open the door to healing. This process isn't about changing who we are, it's about embracing all parts of ourselves, including those we might find uncomfortable. The more we acknowledge these emotions, the more control we gain over them, allowing us to respond rather than react. As we navigate this journey, it's crucial to remember that everyone has a shadow. Just as the sun casts a shadow, our light cannot exist without darkness. The key is to embrace both. Imagine the transformation that can occur when we no longer shun our hidden feelings, but instead acknowledge them as integral parts of our being. By doing this, we can lead a more authentic and fulfilling life. Ultimately, confronting our shadow may seem challenging, but it's a necessary step toward personal growth. As we continue this exploration, we'll discover that facing our emotions can pave the way for a deeper understanding of ourselves, unlocking potential we may have thought was lost. What might your journey look like as you begin to confront your own shadow? Unexplained emotions often strike us when we least expect them, manifesting as sudden waves of anger or sadness. that seem to come out of nowhere. These intense feelings can leave us baffled, prompting us to ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? Carl Jung believed that such emotions are powerful indicators of our shadow self, the parts of our personality we tend to repress or ignore. Imagine a hidden room in your mind, filled with unresolved feelings and memories that influence your behaviors without your conscious awareness. The key to understanding these emotions lies in recognizing that they often point to deeper issues within us. For instance, consider Sarah, a successful marketing executive who suddenly finds herself irritable and snapping at her colleagues over minor inconveniences. Initially, she believes her frustration stems from the pressures of deadlines and workload. However, upon deeper reflection, Sarah discovers that her irritation is linked to her insecurities about her own capabilities. By not acknowledging her feelings of inadequacy, she projects this discomfort onto her colleagues, believing they are the source of her turmoil. This realization is not just eye-opening for Sarah, it serves as a critical juncture in her journey towards self-awareness. When we experience unexplained emotions, it's essential to pause and reflect. What might these feelings be trying to tell us? Often, they are the shadow speaking, urging us to confront unresolved issues. Keeping a journal can be a valuable practice during this process. Sarah began to document her feelings, allowing her to track patterns and identify triggers over time. This practice not only helped her articulate her emotions, but also provided clarity on the underlying issues that needed addressing. Many people may wonder, how can I differentiate between normal mood swings and emotions tied to my shadow? The answer lies in the intensity and frequency of those feelings. If your emotions feel disproportionate to the situation, or if they recur often, it's a sign that something deeper is at play. It's as if your shadow is knocking on the door, asking for attention. The journey toward understanding these emotions can feel daunting, but it is also transformative. As Sarah continued her exploration, she found that confronting her shadow allowed her to embrace not only her flaws, but also her strengths. Rather than viewing her insecurities as weaknesses, she began to understand them as part of her unique story, one that she could learn from and grow through. Imagine the relief that comes from recognizing that these emotions do not define you. Instead, they are invitations to delve deeper into your psyche, to understand the complexities of who you are. By facing these feelings head-on, you open yourself to the possibility of healing and personal growth. In the end, Sarah's journey of self-discovery transformed her relationships, both at work and at home. She learned to communicate her needs more effectively and to approach conflicts with empathy rather than frustration. The once hidden room in her mind became a space for reflection and growth, filled with light instead of darkness. So as you navigate through your own unexplained emotions, remember that embracing this process can lead to profound change. It's not merely about identifying feelings, but understanding the lessons they carry. In doing so, you can unlock the door to a more authentic and fulfilled life. What if, by facing your shadow, you could finally discover the light within? Have you ever noticed a pattern in your life that keeps repeating itself, no matter how hard you try to break free? This can be a powerful sign that your shadow is influencing your choices and relationships. Recurrent patterns often manifest as attracting the same types of challenges or relationships, suggesting that there are unresolved issues lurking in your unconscious mind. For instance, consider someone who continuously finds themselves in toxic friendships. Initially, they may think, "Why does this keep happening to me?" But the answer often lies deeper within. Take Sarah, for example. She was a bright, ambitious woman who dreamed of finding a supportive partner. However, her relationships always seemed to spiral into chaos. Each time she ended up with someone who was emotionally unavailable or overly critical. At first glance, it seemed like a string of bad luck. However, upon deeper reflection, Sarah began to recognize a pattern linked to her shadow. The truth was, she was drawn to partners who mirrored her own insecurities, a fear of not being good enough, and a tendency to seek validation from others. The journey to uncovering these patterns often follows a familiar path. Initially, there's denial. Sarah may have thought, "It's just bad luck," or "I'll find someone different next time." But as she began to confront her shadow, she realized these relationships were not random. They were reflections of her internal struggles. This realization can be both liberating and daunting. It paves the way for transformation, but it requires courage to face uncomfortable truths. Identifying these patterns is crucial, as it allows you to rewrite your story. Sarah decided to take a step back and evaluate her past relationships, asking herself what common threads existed. She noticed that each relationship began with a thrill, but soon devolved into feelings of inadequacy and frustration. This realization was a turning point. By acknowledging her shadow, Sarah could start to heal and break the cycle. She began to understand that her need for validation was rooted in her own self-worth issues, leading her to seek therapy and engage in self-reflection. This process is not just about recognizing what's wrong. It's about embracing the opportunity for growth and change. With newfound awareness, Sarah shifted her focus from seeking validation externally to cultivating it within herself. She started journaling her thoughts and feelings, gaining clarity on what she truly wanted in a partner and in life. Over time, she attracted healthier relationships, built on mutual respect and understanding, rather than the chaotic patterns of the past. So what does it look like to break free from these recurrent patterns? It begins with awareness. Pay attention to the types of relationships you attract and the challenges you face. Ask yourself, are there similarities? How do these situations make you feel? By shining a light on these questions, you can start to uncover your shadow's influence, leading you to a place of empowerment. The journey to understanding and confronting your shadow may be filled with discomfort, but it is also filled with promise. It's a chance to transform your life and relationships. As you begin to identify and address these patterns, you'll find yourself not only breaking free from the cycles of the past, but also stepping into a more authentic version of yourself. Embrace this journey, and remember that each step you take brings you closer to the life you truly desire. With each revelation, you'll feel lighter, more empowered, and ready to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. Feeling uneasy when left alone with your thoughts can be a startling experience, often revealing unresolved issues lurking deep within your psyche. This discomfort is a clear sign that your shadow, the hidden unconscious parts of your personality, is trying to surface. Imagine being in a quiet room, the stillness heavy with unspoken fears and buried emotions. Many people avoid this silence, filling their time with distractions, whether it's scrolling through social media, binge-watching television shows, or even overcommitting to social engagements. But what if embracing that silence could unlock a path to profound personal growth? Consider the story of Sarah, a successful marketing executive. On the outside, she appeared to have it all: a great job, supportive friends, and a vibrant social life. Yet, whenever she found herself alone, a wave of anxiety washed over her. She felt a gnawing emptiness inside, a sensation she had learned to ignore through constant busyness. But one day, during a rare quiet moment, Sarah confronted her discomfort. Instead of running from it, she decided to sit with her feelings. As she did, memories flooded her mind. Past failures, unresolved conflicts, and a childhood filled with high expectations. This was her shadow speaking, urging her to acknowledge the pain she had long suppressed. In this journey, Sarah discovered the importance of understanding why silence felt so uncomfortable. It often stems from a fear of facing the truth about ourselves. We may worry that if we slow down, we will confront feelings of inadequacy or regret. However, by confronting these emotions instead of avoiding them, we take the first step towards healing. In Sarah's case, she began journaling her thoughts, allowing her to process feelings that had been buried for years. This simple act opened a floodgate of insights about her fears and desires, leading to a more authentic version of herself. The transformation Sarah experienced is not unique. Many individuals who have embraced their discomfort in silence have reported significant changes in their lives.
For instance, research in psychology supports the idea that self-reflection can enhance emotional intelligence, leading to better decision-making and improved relationships. By facing the shadow, individuals often find clarity and a renewed sense of purpose, ultimately fostering resilience in the face of life's challenges. What if you could find that same strength? Picture yourself sitting quietly with your thoughts, allowing yourself to feel whatever arises.
You might experience a rush of emotions, fear, sadness, or even anger, but remember, this is part of the process. It's an opportunity to learn about your true self. As you navigate this uncomfortable terrain, you begin to rewrite your narrative, transforming pain into empowerment. Embracing silence does not mean you must do it alone. Many have found support through therapy or community groups, where shared experiences provide comfort and understanding. Knowing that you are not the only one grappling with these feelings can be incredibly liberating. As you embark on this journey, remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. By facing the discomfort of silence, you open the door to understanding your shadow. This is where true growth occurs. Just as Sarah learned to embrace her hidden feelings, you too can navigate your inner landscape, discovering the light that exists within. So what will you choose? Will you continue to fill your life with noise? Or will you take the courageous step to confront your shadow? The journey may be daunting, but it is also the key to unlocking a more authentic and fulfilled life. Many people experience a profound sense of emptiness or insecurity, often feeling that their self-worth hinges on the approval of others. This is known as the need for validation, and it serves as a clear indication that shadow work may be necessary. Imagine a person who scrolls through social media, feeling joy only when they receive likes or compliments. Each notification provides a fleeting thrill, but it's never enough to fill the void inside. Over time, this cycle can lead to anxiety and a distorted sense of self. The connection between seeking validation and our shadow is deep and complex. When individuals rely on external affirmation, they often do so because they struggle with internal self-acceptance. This need can stem from childhood experiences or societal pressures that dictate how we should feel about ourselves. For instance, if a child is frequently praised for achievements but rarely for their inherent worth, they may grow up equating their value with their accomplishments rather than their identity. This brings us to a crucial turning point in our story. The realization that true validation must come from within. Picture a character, let's call her Sarah, who spent years seeking approval from friends and family. She would dress a certain way, laugh at jokes she didn't find funny, and often downplay her own opinions to fit in. Despite her efforts, Sarah still felt unfulfilled, trapped in a cycle of seeking affirmation. But then, something changed. Sarah began to explore her own feelings and needs. She started journaling, which allowed her to articulate her emotions and reflect on her experiences. Through this process, she discovered that her need for validation stemmed from a fear of being not enough. With each entry, she peeled back layers of her shadow, revealing parts of herself that she had long neglected. She learned to embrace her quirks, her opinions, and her feelings without needing others' approval. As Sarah continued her journey, she began to notice shifts in her life. She felt lighter, more confident, and more authentic. The opinions of others mattered less, and she found herself genuinely enjoying her own company. This transformation illustrates the stark contrast between her initial state of seeking validation and her newfound self-acceptance. The question then arises, how can others follow in Sarah's footsteps? The first step is to cultivate self-awareness. Acknowledge when you feel the urge to seek approval. Ask yourself why you feel this way. Are you trying to fit in, or is it a deeper need for acceptance? This reflection is vital in beginning to confront your shadow. Another strategy is to practice self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for wanting validation, recognize it as a human need. Reassure yourself that it's okay to seek connection, but remind yourself that your worth is inherent and not dependent on others' opinions. Engaging in activities that promote self-discovery can also be transformative. Try exploring new hobbies, spending time in nature, or volunteering. These experiences can help you connect with your true self, separate from external expectations. As we wrap up this exploration of the need for validation and its relation to the shadow, remember that the journey towards self-acceptance is ongoing. It requires courage and commitment, but the rewards are immense. By turning inward and embracing who you are, you not only free yourself from the chains of external validation, but also illuminate the path to a more authentic and fulfilling life. What steps will you take today to begin this journey of self-discovery and acceptance? Confronting your shadow is a journey that requires courage and self-reflection, and one of the most effective ways to embark on this path is through journaling. This simple yet powerful practice allows you to explore your thoughts and feelings in depth, shedding light on the hidden aspects of yourself that may be influencing your behavior and emotions. As you begin to write, you might uncover a wealth of insights that can help you understand your shadow more clearly. Imagine a scenario where a person, let's call her Sarah, feels an overwhelming wave of sadness every time she sees her friends enjoying life without her. Initially, she brushes it off as mere jealousy, but through journaling, she discovers that this feeling runs deeper. Each entry reveals a pattern of feeling unworthy and disconnected. By putting her thoughts on paper, Sarah starts to see the connections between her emotions and her past experiences, leading her to confront unresolved issues from her childhood. This insight is crucial. It transforms her sadness into a quest for understanding, allowing her to take actionable steps toward healing. As you journal, consider reflecting on the following prompts. What emotions arise when you think about your relationships? Are there specific triggers that provoke strong reactions in you? By answering these questions, you'll begin to see the shadows lurking behind your responses. It's important to remember that emotional discomfort is often a sign that there's something worth exploring. Just like Sarah, you may find that what seems like a minor issue is tied to significant events in your life. In addition to journaling, seeking guidance from a therapist can be incredibly beneficial. A trained professional can provide you with the tools and strategies to navigate the complexity of your emotions and help you make sense of your shadow. Think of therapy as a supportive lighthouse, guiding you through the fog of your internal struggles. When Sarah sought therapy, she was able to articulate her feelings more clearly and gained the confidence to tackle the underlying issues she had long ignored. Another powerful resource is joining a supportive community. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who are also on their journey of self-discovery creates a safe space for sharing experiences and insights. It's like gathering around a warm fire where stories are exchanged and everyone feels understood. Sarah found a group that focused on personal growth, and through their shared experiences, she discovered that many of her feelings were universal. This realization not only made her feel less isolated, but also empowered her to embrace her journey. As you confront your shadow, remember that it's not about changing who you are, but about embracing all parts of yourself, even the uncomfortable ones. The transformation you undergo will be profound. Imagine moving from a place of confusion and insecurity to one of self-acceptance and empowerment. By facing your shadow, you'll cultivate a sense of authenticity that resonates in every aspect of your life. When you start to recognize the signs of your shadow, such as those unexplained emotions or the need for validation, it becomes easier to address them. This awareness is the first step toward personal growth. As you reflect on your experiences through journaling, seek guidance, or connect with others, you'll find that you're not alone in this journey. Each step you take brings you closer to understanding your true self, illuminating the path to a more fulfilling life. So, what will your journey look like? Are you ready to confront your shadow and discover the light within? Confronting your shadow can initially seem daunting, but it's a vital step toward personal growth and self-awareness. Journaling is one of the most accessible and effective tools you can use to begin this journey. By putting pen to paper, you create a safe space to explore your thoughts and feelings. This practice allows you to vent your frustrations, celebrate your victories, and reflect on your experiences without judgment. Picture yourself sitting in a quiet room, the only sound being the scratch of your pen against the page. In this moment, you are free to express your innermost thoughts. But what should you write about? Start with your emotions. What are you feeling today? Why do you think you feel that way? Dive deeper into your past experiences and examine how they shape your present. This self-reflection can unveil the hidden parts of your shadow that you might not even be aware of. As you write, you might find patterns emerging. Perhaps you consistently feel inadequate in certain situations, or you notice a recurring theme of fear. A powerful story comes to mind. Consider Sarah, a woman who spent years in toxic relationships, always wondering why she attracted partners who brought her pain. Through journaling, she began to uncover her own fears of abandonment, rooted in childhood experiences. This realization was the key to understanding her shadow. When she recognized these patterns, she could finally begin to change her story. Another crucial aspect of confronting your shadow is seeking guidance. This could mean finding a therapist who specializes in shadow work or joining a supportive community. It's essential to understand that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous and empowering step toward healing. Imagine walking into a therapist's office for the first time, heart racing, unsure of what to expect. But as you sit down and share your story, you begin to feel a weight lifting off your shoulders. A skilled therapist can provide insights and tools that you might not discover on your own, helping you navigate this complex journey. Participating in a community, whether online or in person, offers another layer of support. Sharing your experiences with others who are on a similar path can foster a sense of belonging. Think of it as a group of adventurers embarking on a quest together, each person bringing their own struggles, but united by the goal of self-discovery. In these spaces, you can learn from others, share your victories, and remind each other of the importance of this work. However, confronting your shadow is not just about identifying and understanding your hidden self. It's also about embracing it. This journey might feel uncomfortable at times, and that's completely normal. It's like stepping into a dark room after being in the light. Your eyes need time to adjust. With each step you take, you will start to see the beauty and wisdom that lies within your shadow. Imagine emerging from this process transformed. You might find yourself more confident, understanding, and compassionate toward yourself and others. You'll discover that the validation you sought from others was within you all along. This newfound self-acceptance can lead to healthier relationships, greater emotional resilience, and a sense of freedom from past burdens. As you take these steps to confront your shadow, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. Each day presents a new opportunity to learn about yourself and grow. Embrace the journey ahead, for it is in facing our shadows that we truly find the light within. What will your story look like as you start this transformative process? Where will your journey lead you? The answers await you, and they could change your life forever. Facing your shadow is not merely an act of courage, it's a transformative journey towards self-discovery and acceptance. When you embark on this path, you start to embrace not just the light within you, but also the darker, often ignored aspects of your personality. This journey is about recognizing that every part of you, your strengths and weaknesses, contributes to the rich tapestry of who you are. It's essential to understand that confronting your shadow doesn't mean changing who you are. It means integrating all parts of yourself into a cohesive whole. Imagine a person named Sarah, who has always been the people pleaser in her friend group. She constantly seeks approval from her friends and family, often feeling empty and anxious when she doesn't receive it. For years, she believed her worth was tied to how much others liked her. This need for validation stemmed from her shadow, which included fears of rejection and feelings of inadequacy. But one day, after attending a workshop on self-acceptance, Sarah decided to confront her shadow. She began journaling her thoughts, exploring her emotions, and reflecting on her past experiences. Through this process, she discovered that her need for validation was rooted in childhood experiences, where she felt overlooked. By acknowledging these feelings, Sarah began to find self-worth independent of others' opinions. As you embark on your journey, consider starting with journaling. This powerful tool allows you to articulate your thoughts and emotions, shining a light on the hidden corners of your mind. Write without judgment. Let the words flow freely. This practice not only helps you understand your feelings, but also gives voice to the parts of you that yearn to be heard. You might find that as you reflect on your experiences, patterns emerge, revealing insights about your shadow. For instance, you may notice recurring themes of fear or anger tied to specific events in your life. Recognizing these themes is the first step toward healing. In Sarah's journey, journaling became a sacred space for her to explore her feelings. She wrote about her fears of not being enough, her struggles with anxiety, and the moments when she felt truly herself. Over time, this practice allowed her to confront her shadow instead of running from it. She realized that the parts of her that she once deemed unworthy were, in fact, essential to her growth. By embracing her shadow, Sarah transformed her need for validation into a quest for self-acceptance. Therapy or joining a supportive community can also be invaluable in this process. Having a guide or a group of peers can provide the encouragement you need to face your shadow. It's a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. As you share your experiences, you may find others have walked similar paths. Their insights and support can serve as a powerful catalyst for your personal growth. Imagine being in a group where vulnerability is welcomed and every story is a stepping stone toward healing. The strength you gain from these connections can propel you forward. As you navigate this journey, remember that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. The discomfort you experience during moments of silence or reflection is often where the most profound growth occurs. Embrace that silence. It's in these moments that you can hear your inner voice, guiding you towards self-awareness and acceptance. Each time you confront your shadow, you take a courageous step toward living a more authentic life. Ultimately, facing your shadow is about transformation. It's about moving from a place of fear and self-doubt to one of confidence and self-love. You will encounter obstacles, but it's vital to keep pushing through. The journey may be challenging, but the rewards are immense. You will emerge not just as a person who has faced their shadow, but as a radiant individual who understands and accepts every part of themselves. So, what will your journey look like? Are you ready to embrace the parts of you that make you whole? The light within you is waiting to shine brightly.